Coming up on the September 1st edition of Carolina Week.
Election season is in full swing. We'll show you what's going on here on campus and across the nation.
I'm Courtney Robinson in the newsroom. A Christian fraternity raises the question, does diversity trump freedom of speech and assembly?
And a new program is making it possible for some Carolina students to graduate debt-free.
Plus, they'll look at your weekend forecast and Tar Heel sports.
All that and more, Carolina Week starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda Eiler.
And I'm Lydia Garlikov. Our top story tonight. Wednesday is the third day of the Republican National Convention, and upcoming speakers, including Vice President Dick Cheney, have a tough act to follow. First Lady Laura Bush and California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger were front and center Tuesday night, highlighting the economy and a theme of compassion the Republican Party hopes to convey to voters. Both speakers took the stage amidst cheering, chanting, and loud music. President Bush made an early appearance, introducing his wife via satellite. The First Lady not only spoke about her husband's character, but also about an issue central to this election.
Her husband didn't want to go to war, but he knew the safety and security of America and the world depended on it.
Also speaking last night, North Carolina's own Senator Elizabeth Dole and Jenna and Barbara Bush.
The Bush twins weren't the only daughters out working the campaign trail Tuesday. Four of the nation's most vocal young political figures braved the Carolina heat to plug their parents' bid for the White House. The Hines, Carey, and Edwards kids accepted the Young Democrats' invitation to come to Carolina. Hundreds of students and some locals hung out to hear what they had to say. Even the college Republicans put in an appearance. The Carey daughters Vanessa and Alexandra and Andre Hines took turns on the mic. John Edwards' daughter Kate said that college students' votes are important in light of the 500-vote margin in Florida in the 2000 election.
Every vote matters. That's the size of a dorm. If one dorm here at Chapel Hill got out and voted, they could change the entire election and the entire future of this country.
After the rally, the potential first family had some one-on-one time, signed autographs, and talked with students.
Presidential elections are quickly approaching, and students are throwing their support behind their favorite candidates. Reporter Derek Rochelle found that more involvement now could mean more awareness come November.
Monday was a politically charged night for student activists. The Young Democrats hosted U.S. Senate candidate Erskine Bowles. Bowles warmed up the crowd with a little humor.
Looked at me. He said, "I know who you are." I said, "Who am I?" He said, "You're the weatherman."
He encouraged students to vote, warning that a job after graduation could depend on getting to the polls now.
And you know, if we don't get this economy going again, if we don't start creating those new jobs that are going to be out there in this new global marketplace, then there's not going to be anything there for them.
Chairman of the College Republicans, Jordan Selleck, says that the group's focus is also on spreading a message of political awareness.
That government in general does not help people, but people help people. The president has called for Americans to have a society of responsibility, personal ownership. And that's what we want to get out there to do.
Orange County resident Kent Cavoy recently hosted 2 free showings of Fahrenheit 9/11, hoping Michael Moore's film will motivate students to vote.
I'm 51 years old. This $500 billion deficit's I'm not going to have to pay for it. You guys are.
Advocates like Cavoy hope the packed theaters and student meetings will lead to packed voting booths on Election Day. In Chapel Hill, I'm Derek Rochelle, Carolina Week.
You can pick up a voter registration form at the post office or the DMV.
There are more than 700 service projects in the state of North Carolina that are directly connected to the university. Chancellor James Measer wants to highlight that connection through a program called Carolina Connects. The Chancellor is visiting each region of North Carolina in hopes that people will become more informed about the ways in which the university serves the state.
This is not a regional campus. This is a university with a statewide mission. We touch all 100 counties, every community.
Mission is the Public Service Database, an online way to learn about university service projects. The Chancellor has visited Fort Bragg, Burlington, and New Hanover. His next stop will be Dare County on Thursday.
Some of the changes students might notice since their return to campus are the work of a busy student body president. Carolina Week's Joe Mott takes a look at what the new SBP did during the summer.
The campus was thinly populated this summer, but Matt Calabria was one of the students here the whole time. The new student body president spent his summer on the Hill working to complete his campaign platform. One of Calabria's main goals is to improve club sports at the university.
We've worked hard to make sure that we have adequate allocations of money, and I think successfully. I think we're going to see probably a $10,000 increase in the amount that sport clubs get this year.
One of the ways Calabria will raise general athletic money is through corporate signage, a subject Calabria was able to weigh in on when the Board of Trustees met during the summer.
We all wanted to make sure that signage would occur in a limited fashion, that it would be useful to the university, but also that it would be tasteful.
Officials haven't put up corporate signs in Keenan or the Dean Dome yet. Another visible goal Calabria worked on is a popular meeting place for students.
The Campus Y last year was clearly dilapidated. 3 of its 4 floors were closed, and it was surviving only on privately raised funds.
Privately raised funds were simply not enough to make the types of repairs needed at the Campus Y. So over the summer, Matt Calabria went to the Board of Trustees and to the Chancellor and secured several $1 million for repairs to the building. Calabria and his cabinet will continue to work on their goals for the university in the upcoming weeks. In Chapel Hill, I'm Joe Mott, Carolina Week.
Calabria continued his work Tuesday night when he met with Student Congress to discuss changes to the student election code.
Students aren't the only ones hitting Franklin Street bars now that school's in session. The North Carolina Division of Alcohol Law Enforcement is trying to curb underage drinking. ALE agents made 30 arrests on 43 warrants Thursday. 21 of the citations were for using false identification and 10 were for underage drinking. They didn't make any arrests during the weekend. ALE agents focused on underage drinking the first few weeks of class.
On schedule and on budget, UNC's master plan moves forward with every concrete block and nail. Work on the plan started with its 2001 approval by the town of Chapel Hill. University officials continue to work closely with building designers to ensure that construction doesn't stray from Carolina's historical roots. With the completion of the Rams Head Center expected this winter, Associate Vice Chancellor of Construction Bruce Runberg is pleased with the progress.
When people come back, they really see things happening, in a couple of years that normally takes a couple of decades. So it's really exciting times.
He said the master plan should be finished by the latter part of 2008. The new semester is underway, and although UNC freshmen haven't quite mastered finding their way around campus, when it comes to academics, this year's newcomers are ahead of the game. The average SAT score for the class of 2008 is 1305. That's about 20 points higher than last year's average. About 80% of the new group had a GPA of 4.0 or higher, and about 93% of this year's fresh faces ranked in the top 20% of their graduating class.
It's the beginning of fall semester, and you know what that means. Carolina is in the midst of another national controversy. Carolina Week reporter Courtney Robinson joins us now in the studio. Courtney?
Amanda, a recent lawsuit filed by Alpha Iota Omega, an all-male Christian fraternity, will be heard in federal court. The university denied the group official recognition last fall after its leaders refused to sign the university's non-discrimination policy. Chancellor James Measer and other university officials declined to comment on camera. Measer did release the following statement: "We are a public institution and we cannot discriminate. That's the law. We think our position strikes the right balance between First Amendment rights to freedom of association and the rights afforded by the 14th Amendment and the North Carolina Constitution to freedom from discrimination." The fraternity's national president, Tremaine Manson, says limiting membership in a group based on beliefs is different than if he were denied membership because of race.
For someone to deny me interest into an organization because of that, I don't see it being similar to issues of faith where people choose what faith they want to believe in or not to have any faith at all.
Manson also says the 3 members of Alpha Iota Omega will continue to meet despite not being able to use university facilities or funding. There's no telling when the sides will reach a resolution, as litigation could continue for years. Amanda?
Courtney Robinson live from the studio. Thanks, Courtney. Paying for college often means taking out student loans.
Find out how some students are able to attend Carolina without facing huge debts when they graduate.
Mrs. Abruzzo, I'm Ed McMahon, and we're signing up people for... Yes, I am. Yeah. Miss Murphy, Ed McMahon. We're starting up... No.
Dreams really do come true.
Hombre, dinero.
No.
Yes,
Ed McMahon, see.
Ed McMahon.
Yes, Ed McMahon. We're having our first
Ed
ever...
McMahon.
Yes. Tuesday night at the high school. We're starting up the neighborhood watch in this area, and here's all the information.
Stevie, get down here, please.
No, it's just
5, 6, 7, 8.
No tango dinero. Neighborhood watch. We're having this neighborhood watch, the first one. Right.
Larry, put some pants on.
I'll come back.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Start a neighborhood watch. It's just one of the many ways you can help make America stronger. To find out how, call or log on for this free guide.
The beginning of the fall semester marks the beginning for a new undergraduate minor. Maria de Guzman is the director of the Latino Studies minor, which allows students to focus on the influence of people from Latin America in North Carolina. The minor allows students to take courses in different departments, such as African American Studies, Geography, and English. De Guzman hopes the Latino Studies minor will include more courses in the spring semester and expand to a major in the near future.
More than 250 freshmen are breathing a little easier, but it's not because the first week of classes is over. For them, more important worries have been put to rest. Nayeli Losada and Aaron Callender are from two different backgrounds, but they do have something in common. Both need help paying for college.
I wasn't sure if my family had the means to pay for it, and I wasn't sure how long I was going to be in debt after I graduated. Everything was very, very uncertain.
An affordable education is now more certain for Aaron and Nayeli. They're benefiting from the Carolina Covenant, a program allowing low-income students to graduate debt-free.
I think it's really helpful because that way you can really focus on your studies and don't be as worried that you have to pay your loans back.
Both students have been in tough situations. Aaron's mom has been in and out of work because of the economy, and Nayeli was in foster care for a year and a half before turning 18. But they always knew they would go to college.
I think it's amazing that they can actually come up with something that can help people, that it's not really their fault that they're in this kind of financial situation.
Although the Covenant is only in its first year, Chancellor James Measer is already looking ahead.
10 years from now, I would like to think that in the first place, no one would ever imagine that there's a financial barrier to attending this university, and that we've completely eliminated that myth.
For Nayeli and Aaron, the Carolina Covenant hasn't only removed a barrier, but has also lifted a weight. The Carolina Covenant is available to all students from historically low-income families. Students must reapply for the Covenant each year they are at Carolina.
Buying books can put a dent in your wallet. A new bookstore in town is offering low prices for students and competition for UNC student stores. The Tar Heel Bookstore on Franklin Street is placing ads in the Daily Tar Heel, offering to match any competitor's price. Student stores managers say by law they can't compete with privately owned businesses. They price their books according to the publisher's listing price and don't offer discounts. Student Stores Director John Jones says the new competition won't affect the pricing policy.
No, we won't do anything differently. We do not compete. We'll price the same as we always price the books. And essentially, they're really a non-event to us in the way that we run our business.
To see much change in sales this year. Student stores must give other bookstores a complete list of textbooks because of the Freedom of Information Act. The closing of Vizart's Franklin Street location has many students wondering where to rent a movie. Employees at the undergraduate library say they have the answer. Whether perusing the shelves for the newest releases, searching around for a hard-to-find classic, or hoping to catch a flick on location, employees say the UL offers students more than Vizart or other movie rental chains. Plus, the movies are free. But folks who just don't want to come back onto campus can still check out a wide variety of films at Vizart's Carborough location next to Cat's Cradle.
People march in Chapel Hill for all sorts of reasons: anti-war, pro-war, gay rights, and now hetero pride. Carolina Week's Nora Warren has the story.
Marchers in Saturday's parade down Franklin Street proclaimed they're proud to be straight.
I'm proud to like the opposite sex, so I figured I'd show that off.
G105 disc jockey Bob Dumas led Chapel Hill's first straight pride parade. The scene seemed lighthearted with a rooster and beaver leading the bunch. but not everyone was laughing.
Hate crimes against heterosexuals are rampant these days, and they need support. So I felt as a queer person that I should be there for them.
Parade proponents say they deserve to be proud too.
Everybody should have their day.
But gay rights activists say every day is Straight Pride Day.
They don't have to worry about, being mocked or having violence perpetuated against them. It's absolutely pointless, and they don't really have a reason to be here.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Nora Warren, Carolina Week.
DJ Bob Dumas called the parade a success and says he wants this Straight Pride Parade to be the first of many in Chapel Hill.
400 Triangle families are smiling today thanks to the efforts of some widely known athletes, a national relief group, and local volunteers. The NBA Players Association and Carolina Pros helped sponsor a food drive at University Mall. Former UNC basketball players Jerry Stackhouse and Antoine Jamison stopped to greet fans. They were in town for the world's greatest alumni game Saturday night. The nonprofit organization Feed the Children distributed food and toiletries to needy families Saturday morning. Volunteers from local churches and businesses also helped out.
Congressman David Price doesn't mind getting dirt under his nails. He was there when volunteers from Durham Habitat for Humanity put the finishing touches on a local house. Price helped raise the money to landscape the yard. He also joined volunteers laying down sod. It's the 150th house built by Durham Habitat. Price is a member of Congress Building America and has helped build several Habitat houses. That's nice of him. Weathercaster Meredith Croak joins us now.
Well, we have a lot to talk about with Hurricane Frances coming along the way, but first I'm going to take a look at your weather question. This week's weather question is, where are hurricanes called Willy Willies? Is it A, South America, B, Australia, C, Japan, or D, on the Duke campus?
I love this place. You give blood and they take the platelets out and give the blood back to you. It gives me goosebumps just to think about it. The hours are a bit strange, but I'm getting used to that. I come whenever I can. After all, isn't it better to give blood to them than to you know who? Just kidding.
Count.
1, 2, 3. Old habits die hard.
For more information on how you can donate, contact the UNC Blood Center.
I think I'll give O negative today.
Boy, that guy is weird.
If you're not recycling, you're throwing it all away.
Hi, welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm meteorologist Meredith Croak. First, let's take a look at your weather headlines. We do have continued mild weather outside with sunny skies, and there is a chance of Hurricane Frances coming our way. So we are going to keep a very close eye on that storm as it makes its approach to the southeastern states. Now first, let's take a look at that satellite map though. You can see here's that tropical moisture just hanging off the coast. That is bringing some showers to the eastern regions of North Carolina. Nothing much to worry about in the Triangle region though for now. You can see just clear skies back to the west. So that's going to be our weather for the next few days. So not too much to concern ourselves as far as showers go, just a chance of some scattered pop-up showers. Let's take a look at that surface map now. You can see this is the high pressure system sitting back to the west, and here's a frontal boundary that's crossing our area. That's what's giving those regions to the east of us along the coast a chance of some pop-up showers. There is a high pressure system sitting way off the coast, and the strength of that high pressure system is going to be what really affects how close Frances will come to us. And you can see Frances just in the corner of the map, and it is gaining strength. It's a Category 4 hurricane. Let's take a look at that satellite map of Hurricane Frances. You can see it's Category 4, has a very well-defined eye, and it is moving west-northwest at about 15 miles per hour. The maximum sustained winds are 140 miles per hour. This is an extremely dangerous storm. The gusts are even higher than this. It is moving towards the Bahamas and should actually reach the southern Bahamas by Thursday, and into Friday it's going to reach the northern Bahamas, and then by Saturday it's going to be impacting the southeast to central Florida coast. So we really want to keep an eye on it for this region right in there. We have to have very strong concern about this. Remember, when Hurricane Floyd came through, that was only a Category 2 hurricane, and this is a Category 4, and it's not likely to weaken in the next few days. Now let's take a look at your Carolina Week 4-day forecast. We can see on Friday it's 81 degrees. On Saturday, with a low of 65 on Friday. Saturday, 82 with mostly cloudy skies and 65 for the low. Sunday, again, clouds with 83 for the high and 66 for the low on Sunday. And on Monday, you're going to have some scattered showers around. Right now, it doesn't look like it's going to be a total washout. It really depends on the track of Hurricane Francis. Now let's take a look at your beach forecast. You can see 82 at the beach and 70 for the low. 82 again on Sunday. Cloudy skies, so not the best weekend for the beach. Again, this all depends on the track of Francis. And now let's take a look at your mountain forecast. 75 and 72 for your high temperatures. Cloudy conditions, and we have the chance of some showers. Now let's take a look at your weather question answer. And any guesses over here?
I think we need to go with D, Duke. They are a little crazy over there.
You know, it could be. Maybe they do over there too. But the correct answer is actually Australia. Those Aussies are the ones that call it Willy Willies.
Oh, man. Thanks so much, Meredith. Ann Sexton joins us now, and I think I can speak for everybody when I say I'm really excited about Tar Heel sports this fall.
Well, for good reason, because Carolina's going to make a big splash in the ACC. But we have, before the season starts, we had a bit of a flashback, because some of the world's greatest alumni returned to the Smith Center. These millionaires might have oohed and awed the crowd, but it was our girls who brought back the gold. The full story when Carolina Week Sports returns.
There is really only one boy, one girl, one tree, one forest, one ocean, one mountain, one sky, and one simple way to care for it all. Please visit earthshare.org and learn how the world's leading environmental groups are working together under one name, Earthshare. One environment, one simple way to care for it.
Okay, guys, time to take off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! Wow! Whoa, look at that! Is that Jupiter?
Hey kids, it's time to go to the planetarium.
Moorhead Planetarium, where dreams become reality.
Welcome back to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Ann Sexton. Carolina soccer sensation Lindsey Tarpley is back on campus this week after winning a gold medal in Athens. She spoke with the media Wednesday about living her dream and about doing it with fellow teammate Heather O'Reilly.
It's more than I could ever dream of. You know, the great thing, Heather and I have become very good friends, and I think off the field, you know, we hang out all the time now, and on the field we have a connection. And I think I'm so thankful that I get to share such a special experience with somebody who I admire so much.
The women's soccer team doesn't seem to miss Tarpley and O'Reilly too much. The defending national champions opened up their season with a 1-0 win against Nebraska and a 4-2 beating of California. Aren't reunions great? Saturday kicked off the second world's greatest alumni game at the Dean Smith Center. The DJs got things jamming early. Vince Carter was feeling the BASS bass on the bench and on the court with these sensational dunks and always smooth moves to the basket. Vince took a seat to watch the replays, and Rashad McCants was like, I can do that. With Vince in the stands, Flip Murray stole the rock and mixed his own beat. Former Dookie Casey Sanders kept it going with a slam of his own. But it was all uphill from there, with our host Jerry Stackhouse making a memorable appearance. And to cap it off, Vince and the Carolina pros gave the crowd what they wanted with this dunk and a 138-126 win. Fellow alumnus and current head coach Roy Williams returned from picking up a bronze in Athens to find one less member on the men's basketball team. Walk-on forward Justin Bolander decided this past Wednesday to leave the team and spend more time on academics. Bolander scored 22 points in 18 games last season. Now that Bolander has some extra time to watch football, Carolina Week's Brad McGinnity takes a look at what all of us can expect from the Heels this season. Now that Bolander has some extra time to watch football, Brad McGinnity shows us a little bit about what's going to happen this season with football.
Last fall, Carolina allowed more than 38 points per game on its way to a 3-9 record. The team finished last in the ACC and is a combined 5-19 the past 2 seasons. So things can't get a whole lot worse, right? Maybe. They're a very young team, but head coach John Bunting doesn't seem too concerned about it.
You know, we're going to have a little bit of experience. We're going to have a lot of inexperience back there, but they're good athletes. They've played really hard. They've worked really hard, and we'll have some growing pains at times. I hope we can get through those early and play. I think we're ready to play well. I really do.
But don't expect a defensive line featuring 5 first or second year guys to play that well, and at linebacker it's the same story. Look for 2 sophomores and a junior who's never played linebacker in his life to anchor the defense. On the other side of the ball, the offense does have some experience. Senior quarterback Darian Durant returns to start his 3rd season and should finish the year holding every major career quarterback record for the Heels. He'll be throwing the ball to a deep wide receiver core, and sophomore running back Ronnie McGill might break 1,000 yards. In Chapel Hill, I'm Brad McGinnity, Carolina Week Sports.
The Heels' first game is this Saturday against William & Mary. Carmichael Auditorium has been quiet all summer long. Now it's filled with the squeaking shoes of the women's volleyball team. After a disappointing 20-12 season last year, the Tar Heels are returning strong with 5 of 6 starters coming back, including co-captains Molly Pyle and Katie Wright. The Heels open their season Wednesday at 7 against High Point.
Thanks, Ann. You've got the right one, baby.
Or do you? Taste the difference when we return.
Let's all try to be on the same
Mr. and
page.
Mrs. Jones, Sally's having some behavioral problems.
I guess that reward system isn't working.
Well, the timeouts weren't either.
Well, you're just too lenient.
Well, you're too strict.
No, you are.
Oh, you are.
Where can adults go for ideas when they feel as frustrated as kids? ConnectForKids.org, guidance for grown-ups.
Recycling all our Sunday papers would save over 500,000 trees a week. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
A new race is on.
And we're not talking about the presidential race. We're talking about the cola race.
You might have noticed a change across campus. No Coke, Pepsi. Pepsi's multi-million-dollar offer to the university pretty much filled Carolina's cup. But if students are changing courses and classes, do they really care about changing cola?
I like Coke. I prefer Coke.
Pepsi.
Pepsi, definitely better. I am positive I can tell the difference.
And Pepsi's not so sweet.
I think Coke has more of a tangy taste.
All right. There's no way. I mean, just knew it.
Good job, guys.
Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.